Oh, yeah. Yes! I am live. Yes. Very excited to be here. I'm going to go ahead and there is an issue on YouTube. There's something goofy with YouTube, so bear with me here. Doesn't look like I am on. There is an issue. Okay, I am on. Okay, I lied to you, so I'm good to go. James, what is up, brother? James, I'm going to need to do this several times. I'm going to need lots of crow. I was adamant about the Matthew Stafford trade value and how Detroit made a big mistake. And boy, man, I could not be more wrong. I could not be more wrong about the Matthew Stafford trade value. And as a Lions fan, and being that your first one in here, their offseason has been spectacular. I'd love to hear what you think. I had an early morning meeting. Literally minutes before the show, I slammed an energy drink. It is my second one of the day. Plus, I got a cup of coffee, so I am jacked up. I'm going to be all over the place. I have 3 bets that I've already made on the Super Bowl, and I'm going to share all 3 of them with you. And as always, I just want to hear what you guys have to say. I've been looking forward to this all week. Last week, I had a job offer, more money, but I couldn't work from home, and I would have to kill the show. Okay. I got some stuff on. Okay. I decided not to go with that job. It would end the show. So I would still do videos. I'm going to have draft videos coming up. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to start doing it on the 13th or the 20th of this month. But draft videos, I'm going to start with the Jets at number 2. And I'm going to do picks 2 through 32, and then every team that does not have a first-round pick, for example, the Rams, I'm going to go ahead and do a video about my prediction who they're going to take with their first pick, all the teams that don't pick in the first round. All these will be I'm going to do individual videos, so I'll discuss if they are going to trade, but ultimately the mock will be trade-free. So but I'm really looking forward to the draft. I did my first mock draft. I used the Draft Network is a show I've used the free version quite a bit in the past. I used a different one which had like some trade offers, which was kind of cool. It was cool, but it wasn't really accurate. It was just something I was kind of playing around with. But I've already started to do mock drafts. I'm going to have a lot of draft information, and I'm going to have a lot of videos. Hopefully I'll have some growth on the channel, which is kind of cool because ultimately I'd like to get people from different fan bases to kind of come in and chime in on their team. And this is never going to be a show where I know everything and I'm here just to talk. No, I want to hear from you guys because that's what makes the show entertaining. And ultimately, I'm here in Kansas City. I have the inside skinny on the Chiefs. I don't have the inside skinny on 31 different teams. So when you guys chime in, it really helps me out. I am going to put my money where my mouth is. I have 3 really good bets that I've made, and I'm going to share those with you later on. But I kind of just want to talk football. I've been itching to do this all week. I just want to talk football. So I'm excited. Very, very excited and super jacked up. Super jacked up. I'm going to be all over the place. So warning. One Bride 40, welcome, brother, man. As you well know, I could not be more wrong about the trade value for Stafford. I'm surprised there's people that think that the Rams actually won this trade. Bottom line, I don't even know what you would consider a win. Divisional round, championship. I mean, if you're, there's no Rams fans here. If there is a Rams fan, what would be considered a win for Stafford? An NFC championship loss, Super Bowl loss? I don't know. I don't know. You had a wild card win last year So I think that divisional round, maybe. One Pride 40 asks a great question is, what do we do with Goff? I think he's your starter in 2021. The only thing I haven't figured out, and just spoiler alert, yesterday I did a mock draft, Lions taking a quarterback, Lions not taking a quarterback. In my opinion, I think you see what you can do with Goff. I think you give him a chance. I think you give him a legitimate chance in 2021. That's my opinion. I have no idea if he's a bridge quarterback or not, but if I'm the Lions, I think that you give him a chance this year. And because you have 2 first-round picks next year, you could take your quarterback in the 2022 draft. Because you have those 2 first-round picks, you'll have enough trade capital. You could trade down this year to get more picks for next year to try to get a really high draft pick. There are some good quarterbacks coming out next year. I've already looked at 2022 draft. A name that I'm going to keep an eye on is, I'm going to butcher the name, De'Ara King, the University of Miami quarterback. Some people are already saying he's going to go number 1 in 2022. I don't think so. People are saying he's just as good as Kyler Murray. I've watched him. I don't see that at all. But is he somebody who has a lot of talent, who's going to be fun to watch? Is he a Heisman candidate? Absolutely. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But the question with Goff is that he's your starter this year, definitely. He's 100% your starter. I don't know if you're planning on drafting a quarterback and grooming him, or if you want to give him a legitimate chance. Me personally, if I'm the Lions, I give him a legitimate chance and then go to 2022 and say, okay, well, Goff didn't get it done, so let's draft a quarterback, and then he'll start in 2023. That's what I think. You are not the only one who thinks, One Pride 40 puts down, am I the only one who thinks Jared Goff is a bridge quarterback? No, you are definitely not the only one. It really kind of depends on what you're going to do in the future. You have the 7th pick in the draft. You have an extra 3rd. You have 2 picks in the next 2 years. So do you draft a quarterback at 7? And there is going to be a quarterback that you can take at 7. And I'm not talking Mac Jones. I think anybody who takes Mac Jones with a top 10 pick, I would be floored. But you're going to get one, what I call the big 4. And my guess is Lance is the one who will be available. And that's going to be the question. Do you take Lance, let him sit for a year or 2? Or do you ride with Goff and say, hey, this is our guy? This is our guy. I think you ride with Goff for at least 1 year. I think you do what Carolina did. You go with Bridgewater, see what he can do. But is Carolina going to take quarterback? You have to think so. You have to think so. You're referring to draft content. I'm glad you're on board with that, James, because I'm pretty excited for the draft. Who do you think about wins? Okay, that's a tough one because you bring over the offensive coordinator from the Colts, but you don't bring over Frank Wright, who's the guy who actually worked with Wentz. He mentioned that he liked open competition between Wentz and Wentz and Hurts, which is never a good thing. You have a high enough draft pick that you can get a quarterback. I think right now, Philly is kind of seeing what the value is, because look what the value is for Stafford. So you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, man, can we get an extra one? Can we get something next year? Can we roll with Hurts? And then do the same thing that I said for the Lions, draft a quarterback in 2022's draft. You count this. Yeah, this is 2021. So if you had to put a gun to my head and say, where do I think Wentz will play? I think there's only 2 choices, and it's Colts or Eagles. And I'm going to say Colts. I don't think the Colts really want to go with a rookie. I mean, they could maybe in theory trade up, but I think that they're looking at their defense as ready. I think they got a running back. They got some good skill position talent. They got some good receivers. Maybe the best offensive line in football. They were actually really close to beating the Bills in the playoffs. Watch that playoff game between Indianapolis and the Bills. You kind of, at least I did. I got the impression the Colts could have easily won that game. So I'm thinking, where do I think Winston's going to go? I would say Colts, but it's not a foregone fact that he's not going to leave Philly. One Pride 40, Chiefs for the win. Yep. That and you all know that's what I got. And I'm going to reveal my bets later on. I just want to talk to you guys. I'm gonna have some coffee. I'm gonna get jacked up today. Okay, I'm gonna get jacked up for this show. I'm gonna do a Friday show every Friday, even though we're gonna break down all sorts of draft stuff. And then the day before the draft, I'm gonna do a special live stream, and I'm gonna go do my mock draft. If I have enough time with the videos and everything, I may do a mock draft with trades. I haven't decided. As a Chiefs fan, you can guess that I do have the Chiefs for the win. Alex, what is up, brother? Alex chimes in. How's it heading, Dan? Though the Texans have said they're not even going to talk to anyone about the Watson trade, talk around the league is they would trade anything for Watson. I believe the quote they said was, give the Texans what they want. Okay, and here's the thing. You're going to keep hearing this. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's a great topic of conversation. Brett Favre chimed in. Now all of a sudden, Brett Favre's a popular thing in social media. I mean, Brett Favre, who I didn't even know was on social media. He lives on a farm somewhere in Louisiana, and now he's popular because he said something which sounded pretty, just, hey, he's just throwing out his 2 cents. It's just hype. Deshaun Watson, I don't think is going anywhere. But hey, I also said Stafford, you'd be lucky to get a second, and you get 2 number ones and a third. So what do I know? Denver Gator, welcome, brother. Let's get jacked. Let's go Super Bowl weekend. What is up, everyone? Denver Gator, thank you so much for joining. Glad to see you. I have 3 bets. 3 bets I am going to reveal. One's pretty easy. And the other 2 are ones that I strongly urge you to take a look at. Alex chimes in. Rams won the short term of the deal with a good quarterback coming into a team with a last chance to make a playoff push, while the Lions got the better long-term deal with draft picks. I could see that. But let me ask you something, Alex. You won a wild card game last year as the Rams. What do you need to do to get this? Where's the line? Okay. Where do you consider this a good trade? Because you lose draft capital for a couple of years, which the Rams don't care about. They throw away their first round picks. It's actually an old George Allen. I have no idea how old you are, Alex, but George Allen was an old coach with the Redskins, and he was famous for just getting rid of all of his picks. He led the Redskins to Super Bowl 7 with what's called the Over the Hill Gang. Miami Dolphins were undefeated. Of course, that was the 72 undefeated Super Bowl team. They lost that Super Bowl, of course, but he was famous for just trading away his players. And his logic was, why do I want to draft somebody who I had no idea what I got when I can get somebody who I know exactly what I got? And that's the philosophy the Rams are doing. Makes sense. It actually does. But where do you have to be? Okay, is a divisional round, the second round, is that good enough? Do you have to win the division? That's another thing you got to think about. If you lose, let's say you get to the playoffs, but you don't win the NFC West, is that good enough? Do you have to get to a conference championship game, or is it Super Bowl or bust? I don't think this makes the Rams a Super Bowl team. I really don't. That's why. 22 QBs look yucky. There's always one that pops out. There's always one that pops out. But I saw somebody put in the Eric King, is that right? The University of Miami quarterback who's like 5'9.5". He was a starting quarterback in high school, and Trask was his backup in high school. So, but he went to Miami University. Well, he was at Houston, and now he's at the University of Miami. Some people thought he was going to leave and be go pro this year. He went back to the University of Miami. He's instantly a Heisman candidate. I heard 3rd or 4th round this year. I've watched him play, and I think that might be a stretch, but there is talent. He's going to be a lot of fun on the college level. It's going to be a lot of fun on the college level. But people think he's going to be the number 1 pick in the 2022 draft. I don't see that, even with a Heisman. And he is definitely a Heisman candidate. Isaac, what's up, brother? It's been pretty crazy since I was here, but I'm back. Hey, man, hopefully everything is good with you. I know as a loyal Chargers fan, you are excited for the Kansas City Chiefs to be back-to-back Super Bowl champions. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on your Chargers. I'd love to know what you think that they're going to do in the draft. I have my pick already made. I already know who I think the Chargers are going to take. Denver Gator welcomes you back. Super cool. Mike, what's up, brother? And I'm hating this, but hey, you have been saying since September, Bucks and Bills. So you got to take Bucks, and 3.5 is a great number, by the way. 3.5 is a great number. A lot of places it's 3, so get 3.5. Spoiler alert, one of the 3 bets I have is Kansas City and 3. I had to wait. So I got just the opposite. So I'm cheering against you, but I got 2 other bets I think you should take advantage of. I'll get to that a little later. I'm not touching Daniel Jones with a Daniel Jones has a big year coming up because he needs to prove that he is a franchise quarterback. He's going to get Saquon Barkley. He has a Pro Bowl tight end. They're going to probably upgrade their receiving core and their offensive line. That defense is top notch. So the Giants, I think if the Giants don't get into the playoffs next year, Daniel Jones could be a guy who's going to be a free agent. I think it's year 4 next year for Daniel Jones, so he'll have that opportunity. If you're not aware, if you're a first-round quarterback, you have a 4-year deal with a team option for the 5th year. That's why you want to draft a quarterback in the first round. That way you get that extra year. Local furniture seller named Mattress Mac is putting. Oh yes. Okay. Okay. I actually thought it was a hedge fund guy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna read statement here. I'm all over the place. I'm jacked up. I've had 2 energy drinks and I'm slamming coffee. I'm very jacked up today. A local furniture seller named Mattress Mac is putting down a large amount of money behind the Bucks to win. He put down $3.46 million on the Bucks. He's a local Houston guy at City Loves. Has a bet. I heard that he took the 3.5, but I did hear about this. There's a lot of money on Tampa Bay. A lot of people, including my buddy Mike. I consider you a friend, Mike. I have no idea. You could have walked by me, given me the finger. I wouldn't know. By the way, speaking of things I don't know, I'm only watching on StreamYard. I have no idea what's going on YouTube. I could have 5,000 thumbs down, but please give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. I was not able to put a comment below for the first time ever. I don't know if it's a YouTube issue, but do leave a comment in there. It can be Dan Sucks. I don't mind. It just helps the algorithm. So if you don't mind. Matt, okay, you were talking about Matt. I'm sorry, One Pride 40, Mac Jones. Yeah, he's not one of the big 4. I've seen a lot of mock drafts, him going to New England. Spoiler alert, I don't think he's going to New England, but I keep seeing that he's going to pop up. Is he going to be the 5th quarterback drafted? I think so, but where he goes is going to be pretty interesting. He could go as high to San Francisco at 12. Yeah, he could go to New England at 15. Spoiler alert, I don't have New England taking him. And then he could go possibility to the Colts, who I think is going to end up with Carson Wentz. But I mean, I'm not super high on him either. There's a lot of things I like about the kid, but I mean, ultimately, look at that offense. I mean, he played with an NFL squad. Almost all, okay, the 10 other starters on that Alabama offense, or all of them are probably going to the NFL in the first 3 rounds. So how good is he really? He doesn't have elite arm talent. You could say he's super accurate, but I mean, watch some of the throws. I mean, you're not really looking at a lot of stuff. If I was a team that needed a quarterback, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be really that impressed. I'll be honest with you. As of right now, I think Jones is going to go before Trask, but I don't know which one I'd want if I had to choose between the two. I really don't know. That's very funny here. I didn't even think about it. Denver Gator, Bridgewater's the ultimate bridge QB. It's in his name. You're right. You're right. I mean, is anybody, let me ask you, is anybody here, and I know I'm behind on comments, but I'm going to rant a lot today. I'm super jacked up. So let me ask you, is there anybody who thinks Carolina's not taking a quarterback? Is everybody sitting here? I want to know. I'm asking. This is a legitimate. Is anybody, just let me know. Does anybody think Bridgewater's the guy? Like, hey man, we got Bridgewater. We're going to the Super Bowl in the next year or two because we got Bridgewater. No, I don't think anybody's thinking that. But if you do, I want to know. I'm here. Yeah. Bears could go with Trask. They could go with Mac Jones. They actually could go with Carson Wentz. I actually thought Stafford to the Bears would be perfect. I heard Jimmy Garoppolo. The Bears are a team that I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. I haven't had a chance yet. I don't know who their new defensive coordinator is. I have an idea of what they're going to do in the draft if they don't go quarterback. I actually have a player in mind. There's a player I'm eyeballing, and I'm spoiler alert, it's not a quarterback. I could see them taking a quarterback, but if I'm the Bears, I wouldn't want to take a quarterback here. I really wouldn't, and I'm not bringing Trubisky back either. That's just my opinion. Could they trade up? Sure. Golden Rooster saying, "Let's go Chiefs." That's what I'm thinking. That's definitely what I'm thinking. I think Wentz goes to the Bears. I think it would be a good move. The only thing is, though, after the Bears, I mean, it's kind of funny. After the Bears and Trubisky had a hard time getting along, and I think Wentz is a guy that has a problem playing in a big media market. The difference between Philly and Chicago is not that much. You're going to get rabid sports fans. I think fans in Chicago are a little more friendly than fans in Philly. I think almost every fan base is friendlier in Philly. I took a shot at Philly. So what? I mean, I could see that. If I'm Wentz, I wouldn't want to go to Chicago. If I'm Wentz, Indianapolis is perfect. If I'm Carson Wentz, I'm thinking Indianapolis would be perfect. Or to stay and try to go. I can't speak for Wentz, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked by this. I also have been hearing a lot of Kirk Cousins trade rumors. I think Cousins would actually make a lot of sense in Chicago. I really think it would. But what are you giving up? And does that mean Minnesota has to trade up for a quarterback? Yeah. A lot of good things there. But yeah, hey, One Pride 40, I got you down. Wentz going to the Bears. James Willis is a really good wide receiver out of Western Michigan. Dwayne Exridge, speed burner. James, actually, on my mock draft, the first one. We're connected today. My first mock draft that I did, I put him going to Kansas City in round 1, pick number 32. The reason why is the Chiefs are going to lose maybe 2 or 3 wide receivers in the draft, and he's a guy that is a perfect fit for Kansas City. Don't be surprised if he goes to Kansas City at pick 32. Do not be surprised if he goes to Kansas City and pick 32. If you're asking, could he go to the Lions in round 2 or 3? The answer is yes. He'd be a great fit for the Lions. He would be a great fit for the Lions. I also think he'd be a great fit for Kansas City. That's what Kansas City's been doing. By the way, if you're not familiar with this kid, you're going to keep hearing small, short. He's not. He's short. He's not small. There's a big difference. He's like 190. He's built a lot like Tyreek Hill. He has to have a good pro day. He runs 4.5. That's going to cost him a lot of money. Has to have a good pro day. Yeah. I like Amari Rogers. He's, oh God, I'm familiar with the name. I'm drawing a blank on what school he goes to. I'm sorry, One Pride 40. I dropped the ball there. Cam Newton, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Was a rumor. I started that rumor. I started it. I said that. I'm hoping he does. But I don't know. I've never talked to Andrew Luck. He has not returned my call. I said he would come back. I said it because he's a guy that would be out of the NFL for a couple of years. I think he'd watch and go, I'm better than 20 of these starters. I think Andrew Luck could come in and be a top 12 quarterback today, right now. He's also, I believe he's still under contract the way it works out. I don't quote me on that. But if I'm the Indianapolis Colts, I would want Andrew Luck as my starting quarterback. I would reach out to him. It would not surprise me if he comes back. I said that. I should put a link of the video I said that in. I think I said it in my 2019 breakdown of the Colts, is that he'll come back in 2021 is what I said. I'm going to feel like a genius if this happens. I'm going to feel like a genius. Gator, how's it feel to be Tampa Gator now? Man, you know what? The weather here in the Midwest has been really crazy. It makes me, why do I like being here? Why do I live in Kansas City where it's so freaking cold? I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm wearing shorts underneath because I'm going to go to the gym afterwards. But yeah. And that Frank Gore is going to play into a 70. Frank Gore today, right now, is 79 years old. That's fact, Golden Rooster. 79 years old. Like, I'm damn it. I'm sorry, man. I got messed up here. I'm sorry. I got messed up here. Brady has never lost as a Super Bowl dog. Let me see here. He was in, I know the first Super Bowl he was in. I don't remember the number, but against the Rams. And then trying to think of the last time he was a Super Bowl dog. I would have to say it's only been twice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I of course I like Kansas City, but I mean I'm a Chiefs fan. I have two other bets that I made that I want you to listen to, Mike, because I might be able to make you some money. I did not think they'd win against the Saints. Breeze and the Saints had a tough time. Do something. No, I agree. I said that whoever wins between the Saints and the Bucs is going to beat the winner of Green Bay and the Rams. And I believe that. I know that once I saw Tampa Bay play basically 10 in the box, well, they had 10 defensive players up within 10 yards that the game was over. The first time Michael Thomas has been shut out in his pro career was that game. The way the Buccaneers defense played was phenomenal. The Buccaneers front seven is very dangerous. Kansas City has two backup tackles, both on the left and right side this year. Now, the right side's not that big of a deal because Mitchell Schwartz has been injured since I think like the 5th week of the season. But Eric Fisher, who went to the Pro Bowl caliber left tackle, his best season as a Chief, in my opinion. He ruptured his Achilles tendon in the AFC Championship game. Major loss. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but look what you got. You got Shaquille Barrett and JPP going against a backup left tackle. That's a major advantage for Tampa Bay. You're not hearing a lot of people talk about it. So, yeah. George Allen, George Allen loved veteran. Remember the Over the Hill gang? George Allen, a guy that I started really watching football in the 80s, so it's a little past my time. But George Allen's a guy that I just really liked. I love the fact that somebody thinks outside the box. I mean, I was a big Jerry Glanville fan. Of course, I loved Marty Ball. Trying to think of coaches I really, really cheered for. I mean, Air Coryell. I mean, that's what made me a football fan, was the whole Air Coryell offense. People thought I loved Dan Fouts because he had a great first name. No, that's not true. I mean, he had this big old beer gut and, just threw dimes. I mean, it was just freaking amazing. But yeah, George Allen loved veteran. Used to trade all of his draft picks for over the hill guys. And that's kind of a similar philosophy. I mean, sort of, kind of, what you're seeing with the Rams today, getting rid of all their first round draft picks. So, James chimes in. I think Brad will deal Galladay for picks and try to fill. Okay, yep. You're the one who sent me that email. Thank you, by the way. I didn't thank you before. Thank you now. He's going to franchise, tag Galladay, and then trade. Makes sense. All right. What could you get for him? I mean, hey, listen, as far as Lions are concerned, I have no idea what trade value you're going to get. If he does, you're building something great, but then you're also kind of setting Goff up to lose. And that's kind of the big question, is that, do you want to try to build something with Goff, or is he just there for a year or two? And that's kind of the $1 million question. One Pride 40 asks the same thing. And I don't have an answer for that. So that's kind of a problem. Me personally, if I'm the Lions, I'd want to see what Goff can do. I think he's a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. Playing indoors has got to be pretty cool. He's an accurate quarterback. He has some skill position talent, but if you lose Galladay, then you almost have to draft a wide receiver early. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Isn't that what you're thinking? Alex chimes in, Rams are Super Bowl or bust. If they don't win next year, they're going to destroy it and rebuild. Well, I don't think you can destroy it. I mean, I really don't think you can destroy it. I think you have Stafford. Oh, wow. Sorry, man. Those energy drinks. But I don't think you could do it in 1 year. I don't think it'd be 1 year, but you're Super Bowl or bust. And the reason why I don't think you can do 1 year is because you still have Ramsey, you still have Aaron Donald, you still have Stafford, you still have some other big name free agents. So I don't think you can rebuild it in 1 year, especially without a first round draft pick. But Super Bowl, I could see that. So, I love the show. I'm probably a top 6 fan, but I have to root for the Bucs, even if Tom Brady. No, dude, Denver Gator, you can't be a Broncos fan and cheer for the Chiefs. I get you. I will say this. I cheered for Denver against Carolina because I bet on Denver. Because I watched Carolina play and I watched Denver play, and I told Broncos fans, Denver's going to win this. Even Broncos fans are like, no, Cam Newton's so good. I'm like, no, that front seven's just going to destroy Carolina's offensive line. That front seven's ridiculous. And so, yeah, I cheered for the Broncos and I felt dirty. But yeah, you got to cheer for Tampa Bay. You're Denver Gator. Yeah, of course. I'm not either. One Pride 40. I'm not either. But I saw that, and Mike also put something in there too. He's good, not great. No, I don't see it at all. Now, I will say this, though. I thought Kyler Murray was going to be dreadful. But he hasn't. Some people are saying he's going to be an MVP. Definitely wasn't MVP caliber. He was entertaining. He was exciting. But even with DeAndre Hopkins, you got an 8-18 there. I think they're building something good, but no, I'm not happy or thrilled about him either. I think you draft him like the 3rd or 4th round, but I don't think he's somebody you build a team around. I don't believe that, but he could. I'm just telling you, I'm kind of relaying information. How do I feel about him? I think he's going to be a Heisman candidate. I think Miami has a big game early. I want to say they play Auburn or Alabama early, like within the first couple of weeks of the college football season. He has a big game. Even if he doesn't win, if he has a big game, then he's going to be a Heisman front runner, which could propel him into the first round. But he has to play lights out. I also really follow recruiting classes. But I'm just going to say this. Jackson State, Deion Sanders took over. They have like the 84th or 85th best. They got several 4-star players. I mean, that school could win every game by like 30 points this year. They have like the highest one. I know they call it FCS or something, but let's just go old school. They have like the highest 1AA recruiting class of like all time. It's ridiculous the amount of talent Deion Sanders has. I want to watch Jackson State play. I seriously, they could be winning games like by 50 points. It's ridiculous what they could do. Denver Gator, Tampa. Mike, I agree with you. He got injured and he's, it was due to, okay, I'm sorry, Mike. It was due to an injury. I didn't know it was an injury issue. That said, Trevor Lawrence is due to have shoulder surgery, but he's going to be back in time for a mini camp. But no, I 100% agree with you. I think it'll be fun to watch in college, but I think he may get in that third round conversation, maybe, but he's got to look really good. If the Lions don't go QB, I'll be all right with Chase or Smith if they're available. I think Lance is the guy that you could get at 7. Spoiler alert, unless they trade up, which they have the draft capital to do. But I think that Lance would be the guy, and I don't think you have to trade up. I think Lance will be available at 7, and he's the guy you may or may not want to pull the trigger on. He's only 20. The thing is, Lance, even though he's only 20, I think Lance could start day 1. But the Lions are a team that I really am curious what they're going to do, and you have no idea what they're going to do either. They could trade up, they could trade down, they could do anything. They could stay at 7, take a quarterback. They could take a wide receiver. I have a man crush on Patrick Surtain Jr., Patrick Surtain II, and I think I'm the only person that thinks the Lions could draft Surtain at 7. Day 1 starter. Yeah, they are, but you sign a coach to a 6-year deal. You're giving him carte blanche or whatever. You're giving him the freedom to just atom bomb the team and to build back up. So, yeah. Isaac says, congrats, Chiefs Kingdom. When it comes to Chargers, I think we should try to fix the D in free agency, maybe O-line. And the other thing, other than O-line, is we should draft would be Kyle Pitts. I agree, because you're shopping your what's his name, out of Arkansas. I really like him as a player. Your Pro Bowl tight end, I keep seeing he's being shopped around. So anyway. Kyle Pitts would be a lot of fun. For a lot of teams. I'll give you a spoiler alert. I don't think he lasts to the Chargers. But if he does, the Chargers would be silly not to pick him up. I think Brad will deal Galladay for picks, but I see the Lions picking Micah Parsons. I don't know where, but I see him in Detroit. I don't. And I'll tell you why. Have you heard about all the offseason stuff about Micah Parsons? Multiple problems with him. I think that he's off over half the NFL team's draft board. And when you're a team with a new GM, new coach, you normally will skew players away that have character flaws that are this bad. He was accused of Sanduskying players, and he was also involved with there was some incident with a knife. I don't think he's on the Lions draft board at all. I think the Lions just took him off. I don't think he goes in the first 3 rounds. He may not get drafted. And before all this stuff came out, there was talk about him going top 10, number 7 to Detroit. But ultimately, I don't think he goes in the first couple rounds. But he's not going to go to a team that's rebuilding. He's going to have to go to a team. I don't think Kansas City would take him, but a team like Kansas City, a team with a solid front office, a solid coaching foundation, maybe a team like Seattle. I could see maybe the Rams rolling the dice on him. late. The only other team I could think of that may want to take a chance on him, and I only think they'll do it in like fifth or sixth round. Maybe it might be a team like the Houston Texans if Watt stays, because Watt would be a type of guy that he would kind of defer to, but you would need a strong leader. I don't think he ends up in Detroit due to the off-field issues. And if you haven't heard about him, take a look. But it's kind of some messed up stuff that he's being accused of doing. Now, keep in mind, as the process goes on, if he's cleared of these things, but the simple fact that people are, when you're being accused of Sanduskying your teammates, it's not good. Now, that said, that it was apparently him and Yader Gross-Matos, a guy that was drafted early in the second round to Carolina. And Yader Gross-Matos has had no problems in the NFL so far. He was also one of the players accused of Sanduskying new recruits in a hazing type incident, but he wouldn't have been picked. I think it was at 34. He wouldn't have gone 34th if this report came out. And not only that, it was reported that Parsons was the ringleader. So that's I'm sorry. Okay. So Micah Parsons probably is not going to be drafted in the first couple rounds, and I definitely don't think he's going to go to a team with a brand new front office and head coach. I don't see it. But with the team that you're trying to build, he's the perfect fit. But all those offseason issues, I think, is just going to – he really messed up if he did those things. My boy Chad types in Dan sucks via Las Vegas. Yep. Here's the deal. Probably Chad, I'm gonna just say this. Don't get mad, but I mean, me and Chad have been talking about maybe going to Vegas for the draft. I may or may not be able to. We've been talking about going. I'm definitely going to go for the start of the year. I don't know if I can get away for the draft or not. But despite that, give me a thumbs up anyway, Chad. I love you, brother. I grew up a Bucks fan, creamsicle, orange and white. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. And lived there when Dungy took over. Watched Gruden win with Dungy's team. Say go Bucks every 20 years. Not bad. No, not bad. And those creamsicle orange. You know what? I didn't follow them. It was kind of slightly before my time. What was it, Super Bowl 14? They almost made Super Bowl 14. They went, I think they had that 0-26 start, and then they built a great team up, and then they just destroyed it. Oh God, they let Williams go. They had Ricky Bell, Leroy Solomon. And then, Dungy built that great Bucks team. And then Gruden won the Super Bowl with them. I think Dungy that year would have won a Super Bowl. I really believe that. And I'm not taking anything away from Gruden, but I think Dungy that year would have got there. I really do. That team was just loaded. That team was just loaded. So I'm a Tom Brady fan this weekend. It's hard for me to say I don't want the Chiefs to win that. I don't blame you. Alex, I don't blame you. And it's funny, my boss, me and him were talking, and he's like, well, it's kind of cool how, Brady got back to the Super Bowl after being discarded, but, being that live here in Canada, he's not a sports fan. So, I get it. All right, sorry, itching here. I promise I didn't do Coke before the show. I just did a lot of energy drinks, and I'm drinking coffee because I'm super jacked up. Najee Harris. If you're talking about the Lions, man, Najee Harris to the Lions would be interesting. I tell you, well, you got if the Lions are drafting Harris, then you're definitely getting rid of Kerryon Johnson. But I like that move. I think Najee Harris, if he has a good enough pro day, goes in the first round. I currently got him going to the Steelers in the first round, but I'm kind of excuse me. One Pride 40 agrees with me. New regimes normally don't go after players with this many red flags. Normally, they don't go after players with this many red flags. As a I'm stereotyping. I'm stereotyping, but as a general rule of thumb, a team normally won't go after. I could see him going to somebody like the Saints, maybe the Chiefs, but not a new regime. Carolina only taking linemen in the draft. Mark my words, best defensive and offensive lines in the league. I could see that. I could see Carolina at 4 trading down. I could see Carolina taking the best available offensive lineman. Remember last year they traded their Pro Bowl guard to get the left tackle from the Chargers. I think was it Okong, something like that, because the offensive line coach worked with him before. It is so. He had the same issues, couldn't stay healthy, but I could see that. I don't know if you take a lineman at 4 though. I don't think you take an offensive lineman at 4. Remember last year they drafted Yader Gross-Matos and Derek Brown with the first 2 picks. They drafted all defensive players, so I could see them going heavy offensive line and then going with Bridgewater, but I'm hoping the Lions will get a Herschel Walker deal. Yes, you may get a lot for Galladay. You may get a lot for Galladay. It wouldn't surprise me if Galladay went to the Jets. That's kind of the team I'm thinking. No, Dan, you make the Bears keep Trubisky. All right, I'm sorry, man. I am really behind. Zimmer said Kirk ain't going anywhere. I thought, hey, Funk, welcome, by the way. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that too, but I'm seeing a lot of Kirk Cousins trades. I'm seeing it a lot in social media. I think Casey takes Tylan Wallace. He's the LSU wide receiver, correct? I could see that. I could see that. One Pride, they worked out an edge rusher that has a history of drug violations. Antonio Brown, Super Bowl MVP. He may not play. He may not even play. He's questionable right now. Very questionable. Amari Rodgers is the clown. Okay, I'm sorry, Funk. Sorry about that. Yes, you're right. All right, yeah. And by the way, it's kind of cool that we're all looking at wide receiver to Kansas City at 32. So Colts and Luck's relationship is so bad they ain't going to get him back. I didn't know it was bad. I didn't know it was a bad relationship, but I think Andrew Luck could. And knowing nothing about the guy, I just think that after a couple of years and looking at himself and going, you know what, I'm 32. I could come out of retirement, make a couple $100 million. I mean, dude, he would come into the league today as a top 10, top 12 quarterback before he even picks up a football. That's why I could see him doing it. But I didn't know their relationship was bad. I didn't know that. Not only cold, but you get tornadoes. Okay. Kansas people, when the tornado sirens go off, people in Kansas go outside and bring their lawn chairs. It's a show. It's like a fireworks show. People out here are nuts. I don't get it. It sucks out here. Why I don't move to Vegas, I don't know. Eventually, I need to get out there. But you think Campbell will be better than Salah if you want cold? Come, no. Do I think Campbell will be better than Salah? I do think he'll be better than Salah. Okay, let me rephrase that. There are so many factors that are going to be involved with the success of these two guys. All right. What the Jets do at the quarterback position, that's going to be a big factor. How well Goff plays, that's going to be a big factor. Because Goff's going to be a starting quarterback next year. If Goff tears his ACL year 1 and they don't have Chase Daniel and they didn't draft a quarterback, they're going to be terrible, and then they have to rebuild completely. There's a chance Goff comes in and says, wow, I have more talent here than I did with the Rams, and we're just building this defense. And there's so many – I can't give you an answer. But as of today, right now, yes, absolutely, because I love what Detroit's doing. Yeah, the Jets have some draft capital, but more than likely they're going to need to draft a quarterback or going to have to fix Darnold. And they're doing it with a first-year offensive coordinator that they got from San Francisco. I don't know how I feel about that. But, I mean, right now, today, yeah. But, it's cold here too, bud. 19. Yeah, I know it gets cold there. I know it gets cold there. We get ice. We get tornadoes. It's just, anyway. One Pride 40 is asking Funk. I know Funk lives in Michigan. Are you putting any money on the Chris Sims can't? No, I don't even know what that is, man. Stevie Keys, this is where the Super Bowl, where the GOAT baton is officially passed on to Mahomes. I think so. I do. Mike is rubbing it in because Mike is my hero. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you it's beautiful there. I bet you I have an opportunity with the company I'm currently working for to move out to Tampa Bay. So I've never been there. I've driven through Florida, but I've never really I've never been to Tampa Bay though. So, but if I do, I'm hoping that I can bombard you with questions, Mike. I knew James does. The Eric Coryell offense. I know James has been itching for it. I've been itching for it. I need to do a retro show, and if I do a retro show, we are going to talk a ton of Eric Coryell, Fouts, Winslow, Chandler, Jefferson, Charlie Joyner, Chuck Muncie. Oh man, Dan, do I think JPP's knee is healthy? They were just playing with it. I think he's fine. He did some trash talking that he didn't even know who Mike Remmers was. Mike Remmers is the guy who's replacing Eric Fisher on the left side. He's going to be a starting left tackle. And I was like, dude, you got to know who that guy is. He said it didn't matter. It does. It does. I think whether he's healthy or not, it's going to be a non-issue. I think it's a situation because it's the Super Bowl. He's going to be jacked up. That's the number one thing that I'm worried about is Tampa Bay's pass rush against Kansas City's backup tackles, which is a good prop bet. If you can make a bet for shortest throw, bet it on Mahomes because it'll be under 5 yards. They're going to do a lot of dinking and dunking early in the game. Kansas City will. So, Mike. And Stevie's in Iowa. Okay, you're in Iowa. I did not know that. It's 7. It gets cold in Iowa. I've been to Iowa several times. Sometimes I think it's pretty cool there, and other times it sounds terrible. No, you don't have money for Kenny. Stevie says, if I'm the Lions, I think that they – okay. I don't think he can. I don't think they can. The part of the reason they made the trade is because of Goff's contract. So I don't think he can. Mike is making friends here in the chat, bragging that he has his AC on. Mike is my hero. Hey, Mike, I haven't seen Pete in the show. Do tell Pete I said hi if you get a chance. The tag and trade was my thought on Kenny too, but now I'd be okay with the transition tag. I would love to see Goff with Galladay. I'd love to see that work. Too many wide receivers in this draft to take one at 7. If they trade back to 15 or further, then Washuk. Yeah, no, actually, Funk, we're on the same page. I want to see. You know who I'm talking about. I want to see him at Pro Day. I want to see what he runs. I don't want to see him at 215. I heard he's 215, and he's going to run a sub 4.5. He's going to hit like 4.49. That would probably still put him at round 1, but I want to see him at 220 running in the 4.5s. And that puts him guaranteed in round 1. And he's perfect for Detroit, by the way. Matter of fact, could Detroit take him at 7? The answer is yes. I wouldn't recommend it, but I could see it happening. I could see it happening. All right, I'm late to the show, so hey man, I am not going on rants at all, Stevie. Okay, what you did miss is that I haven't decided if it's going to be on the. I haven't decided if it's going to be on the 15th or the 22nd when I'm going to start doing draft videos, because I know you're a big fan of the draft. I haven't decided yet. But I'm going to start doing draft videos soon, and I'm going to start with the Jets at 2. So, Cold James today was going. Maybe you can move down. You can move Mike's neck of the woods. It's 85. So, Isaac, as a diehard Gators fan and Broncos fan, I would be torn if Pitts goes to the Chargers like Tebow to the Patriots. Pitts is a guy that I'm dying to see him go to somebody fun. He could go as high as 5. He could go as high as 5. So, and that would be Cincinnati. I could see him going to the Bengals. Is that why I have him go? And the answer is no, but I could see him going to the Bengals. Here's why I believe Goff is a bridge, because of Dorsey's here for a reason. Dorsey is going to get very creative. You haven't seen the last of trades with Dorsey. So, coldest weather I've been in is Sioux Falls, -50 wind chill. I was in Green Bay for the 2002 Super Bowl, the Bucks and Raiders, and I spent a couple weeks in Green Bay in February. Coldest I've ever been in my life. Coldest I've ever been in my life. And I didn't put the 2 and 2 together, even though Green Bay, it's surrounded by water, but it's like when the wind kicks, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, you get cold. It's just crazy. I also got to spend some time in Green Bay in April and June, and when it's not winter, it's beautiful. It really is, but oh God, I would never live in Green Bay. Those winters are brutal. This Sioux Falls, my buddy Chad, I don't know if he's still in the show or not. He loves it up there. I don't get it. I think he's part polar bear, but I hate Michigan winters, but I'm too broke to do anything. James, me and you, we should get a place, go out to Vegas, start dating hot chicks. It'll be awesome, man. So we're nuking our defense. More than likely you are. I would take a hard look at what the Saints did, and the Saints kept on drafting heavy on defense till they got right. And that's kind of, I think, that what you're going to see. I think you're going to see lots of draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. You got to increase that front 7 speed. I think we'll re-sign Henry. I do really want him back. I think it's smart, but I mean, of all the drafts that you could move him in, this would be the perfect one, because you could go ahead and Fredrickson, something like that, the tight end out of Penn State, you can get him in the 2nd round. He can do a lot of things Hunter Henry can do for a fraction of the price. You already have a solid number 1 and number 2 wide receiver. I think you need a running back, and you need some help on your offensive line. Your defense is set. So that's just kind of my opinion. Trey Lance would be able to sit till he's halfway through his 2nd season. If it doesn't work out, he can move to wide receiver. Kid, Big Ten offers to play wide receiver DB. Everybody wanted him to play linebacker. He had offers in Northwestern to play linebacker. He's like 230, 240. You don't draft a kid like this and then change positions on him. I don't see that as an option. He has no interest in playing anything else except quarterback. That's why he went to North Dakota State in the first place. I think teams are really going to fall in love with Lance once they start talking to him in the interview process. This guy, out of all the quarterbacks I've heard so far, he sounds the best in interviews, and that means a lot to NFL teams. But could you draft him at 7 and sit him for 2 years? Absolutely. Absolutely, you could. But in my opinion, I think that if you draft him, the plan would be to sit him for 1. So, and that's a big question. Going into the draft during the whole offseason process, that's going to be the number 1 question: is Goff going to be the guy you're going to build around, or is Goff going to be the guy you're just hanging on to for a year or 2? I liked Collins over Parsons. I'm kind of surprised to hear that, man. Now, I mean, if you're talking off field, then definitely. But if you're talking on field, I'm kind of surprised. I like to have, yeah, over any. I think that the Lions could really use a guy like this. I love his play. I love his play. And it's almost good for the Lions that he has a bad combine because I think the Raiders will take him. So if the Lions trade down, I don't know where the Raiders. I think the Raiders pick. I think 18, 17, 18. Somebody would have to let me know. But bottom line, the Raiders are a team I think that really could use this guy. So I think if you do want to draft him, you have to draft him before the Raiders do. Could they trade down? Absolutely. But if you do trade down and you don't pick him, can you get him with the draft picks that you have? Get back in the first round? Answers no. So, but he's a guy that, yes, Detroit could use. You have to figure out where you want to trade. I could see San Francisco, if they want a quarterback, going from 12 to 17, or I'm sorry, 12 to 7. And then I could see the Lions trading with San Francisco and at 12 taking him, which would be a little rich, but Devin Bush went at 10. I think Devin White went 9 or 8 that year. And I think that I don't have him rated with those two guys. I have him just a smudge below, but he fits a need. You need speed and athleticism in your front seven. I just don't think you could take him at 7. So sorry, so late. It's a cool name, man. I love the name, man. Hey, yeah. All right, sorry, I'm behind on comments, man. I'm really behind on comments. So the Bucks, yeah. The Bucks helmet design was pretty cool, man. I have to admit, though, when they changed everything, I'm an old school guy, but when they changed everything, I was like, oh, this is sweet. This was sweet. Bucks have the Chiefs, the thing for that. The Chiefs, oh, man. Bringing up some old hurtful memories there. And Stevie, yeah, I could not agree more than you. We did take a flyer on Irvin, but he just likes to smoke weed. You know, I think he's with Vegas now. But I remember the guy like smoked a joint while quitting the NFL, and I was like, you dipshit. So Dan, how did you do this season before the Super Bowl? I had a small profit, very small, just a couple hundred ahead. I meant to put more money down at the beginning of the season. And during the season, unfortunately, I took a little bit of a loss. I didn't keep track of my wins and losses. So that's something I should have done. That way I could say, hey, I did X or Y, and that's something I'm going to do next year. Hopefully I have more disposable income to go ahead and do some more betting. Ideally, I can go to Vegas several times next year, but all in all, not so good, but I do have a profit. My preseason betting, my over-unders for the years are gold. I stand by that. I'm already doing research for it. And as soon as the numbers come out for the Vegas over-unders, I'm going to do weekly shows, so I'll let you know. And then long term, what I'm going to do is after the 4th of July, I'll start breaking down all 32 NFL teams, and I do it the same way. I talk about what I like, what I don't like, and then I break down the Vegas over-under, and then I will reveal in that final segment of each video if I'm going to put action on that team. And last year, I fell in love with Seattle. That was a team that I just circled and said, this is a team that's better than last year's team. So over 9.5 for the year, that makes a lot of sense. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I think Harrison Smith got picked up by the Dolphins. Tuscaloosa. You're right, Funk. I got Atlanta's 4. I got the 2 flip-flopped. My bad. So Walker trade was awesome. What about the Ricky Williams trade? Yeah, I remember Mike Ditka had complete control, and that was his 1 year. And yeah. One pride, weed is legal in the NFL, and I had no idea it was legal in Michigan. I don't touch the stuff myself, But I didn't know Michigan. It was weird when I went out to Vegas. People are smoking it on the street. I'm like, oh my god! And it's like, oh yeah, it's legal. So people in Iowa go out. I thought it was just a Kansas thing, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Is Iowa people? I know some people in Kansas are. And speaking with the media on Thursday, Bruce Arians noted Brown has not only returned to practice, but he's trending in the right direction after going full speed through the motions. Seriously, if you can put some side action on Antonio Brown, like MVP or something, that would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. Not that I know of one pride Memphis. You say a lot of the same things for Kansas, Stevie. So Chiefs have got great at quick passes. You're going to see a lot of it. You're going to see a lot of it mainly because of the offensive line issues. Yeah. Nobody talks about James Randall, Steve Bartkowski. Oh, God, man. We got it. Steve Bartkowski. Oh, God, what was it? Billy White Shoes Johnson. You know what I'm talking about, that Hail Mary they had. He falls down, and you know what I'm talking about. Love John Randall. Love John Randall. Tom Tupa, the punter from the Browns, also played quarterback. I do. Remember he started that game and he looked awesome. He was like 20 out of 29, threw 3 touchdowns. Retro talk can be fun as hell. We can talk about Curtis Martin's the only other running back besides Barry to run for 1,000 yards for each of his first 10 years. I loved Curtis Martin. Loved Curtis Martin. One of my all-time. I did list top 10 running backs of all time, and I could not put Curtis Martin in the top 10, and it drove me nuts. I hated that. Hated a lot of it. Meth has turned a lot of people into chemists. Andreas ammonia is used on crops. That I didn't know. It's actually funny. My buddy Tim, he hasn't joined yet, or I'm behind on it, but I'm going to ride along with him. He's close. He lives in Missouri near the Iowa border, and he took me on a ride along, and he's like, yeah, we know that that's a meth house. And I was like, Jesus Christ. It was like out in the middle of nowhere, and it's really bad stuff. Should start draft videos on the 8th. I'm thinking 15th or 22nd. I just want to take a little bit of time off, but very soon. Well, we're going to get into draft stuff very soon. How Brady, it's funny. If you watch videos, so many people thought that Bledsoe should have started. Me too. Yeah. Bledsoe was good, by the way. Drew Bledsoe was really, really good. That's something nobody will ever talk about. One Pride 40 dream scenario, Lance at 7 of their second round pick. Tony, I love Kadarius Toney. I don't see him lasting to the second round. His stock is just skyrocketed up. It would not surprise me if the Lions take him at 7. It would not surprise me. I think he's that good. Denver Gators, a Chiefs fan and a Hawkeyes fan. I have to watch the rest of the AFC West. Take a Hawkeye or 2 every year. Yeah. Oh, God, what was it? What's his name? I had a huge man, Desmond King. A huge man crush on Desmond King. Huge man crush on Desmond King. I was so happy with Tennessee. I haven't heard from any of the Titans fans here, but yeah. Didn't Bledsoe break his leg like 10 feet from Brady? He actually got hit and had a bruised liver from Mo Lewis of the Jets. So, all right, sorry, man. I promise I'm not on blow. You had a great, I bet you do. It gets crazy here too. It's probably different. My God, Chad lives like 5 minutes away from me. It is not 90. And Chad loves South Dakota, the outdoors and free living. Are not a fan of Salah. I don't think he's really going to end up being a good head coach. I think that wide 9 defense only works when you have a great defensive line. And if you don't have a great defensive line, it doesn't work. That's it. I would love if he was my defensive coordinator, but if he was my head coach, no, I don't. I can see you could say no. I'm not a fan of Saleh. Denver Gator, how's this for an idea for a Dan live special? We all do a mock together. We do GMs for our teams randomly distribute other picks among trades or no. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. We currently don't have enough, but I would love that. I would love it. We could actually do it live. We could do it live. That would be awesome. If we have enough people, we could definitely do it. We could actually do it. We could do a special live stream on a Wednesday. I would love it. I love Iowa. Hawkinson has been a stud. Noah Fant in a couple of years may be the best tight end in the NFL. I've been saying that for a long time. Long time. But Hawkinson, yes. That's the guy that the Lions worked out. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know the Raiders cut him. I thought he was with the Raiders. He was a good player. He had some off-field issues that were really minor. He was actually here in Kansas City, just didn't make the cut. And then he was with the Cowboys, and he was on his way to doing pretty good, building a good career in the NFL, and just wanted to smoke weed. I was like, dude, you're pissing away something. Decided smoking weed's pretty stupid, I guess. But I didn't know the Raiders cut him. So I'm kind of surprised. The Lions took a look at him, though. Sitting for 2 years, Lance will still be only 22. Goff becomes very tradable after year 2, especially if he acts like a pro and helps the kid a lot. Let Lance play the last 3 games of 2022. I could 100% see that. I could 100% see that. Best case scenario is that you draft him at 7. You don't trade up. But yeah, that would work. That would work. And then, use the rest of your draft, to try to build your team up. I could see that. You're not hearing any arguments from me. The only thing I would argue was that give Goff a chance to win with somebody you can start day 1 at 7. Because Goff's a good quarterback, man. Goff's a good quarterback. You're not getting. It's not like you're getting a bum. You're getting a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback who should be motivated and pissed off. Worst case scenario to Lance, I would love that. I don't know how creative. I don't know how creative. What's his name? The Chargers' former head coach. That was kind of a criticism about him too. And Isaac, if he's still in the chat, he'll attest to that. Is that he's not a very creative offensive mind, but he's an old school guy. But if you're smart, then yeah. If you're smart, you get Lance on the field early, but use him like a handful of snaps. That way you can get creative. I would love that. I'm guessing you would like it, or else you wouldn't have said it. But no, I would love that. Everything you're saying, Funk, it's kind of weird. I think hell just froze over because me and you completely agree on this. So, I love it. Throw him out there week 1 and have him run the ball. He's going to have a good pro day. He's going to weigh in about 240. I don't know if he runs a 40, but I mean, watch his clips. He can run. This would be brilliant. Have him start right away. Get creative. Move him and Hawkinson around like chess pieces. Have some fun. I love it. Yeah, I know the Lions worked out a player. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about Irvin because I thought he was still with the Raiders, which I thought was kind of weird that the Raiders of all teams gave him a chance, but that would be a wasted draft pick then. Drafting, are you talking about Lance? One Pride 40? Testing. It is 7 minutes after. What time is it? I'm sorry, Denver Gator. I drank 2 energy drinks. I'm almost done with my cup of coffee. I haven't even talked about my 2 bets that I think you should listen to because they're pretty good ideas. Irvin's issues don't light a candle to Parsons. No, it does not. And you know what? The dude smoked pot like 3 or 4 years ago. Big deal, you know? Denver Gator was 12 minutes. I'm sorry, guys, but this is good. I want to get people involved, but I look at every single comment, every single one. By the way, give me a thumbs up and drop a comment in the comment section below. No, hey James, you're not alone. A lot of stuff's coming out, and this is part of the reason why you tune in, man. You get to hear good stuff, man. Yeah, the Sandusky issue is not good. It wouldn't be the first time. Oh man, I was really mad the Broncos took Fant. I was not happy. I wasn't happy because they could have took him at 10, and then they traded down, got a 3rd round pick, and they drafted a player in the 3rd round I really liked, and then they got Fant at 20, which I thought was almost a steal of the draft. That was a great move by Elway, by the way. I'll give Elway a ton of credit. I love that move. And Fant's been banged up. It would not surprise me in 2 years from now, though, if Fant's the best tight end in football. Did One Pride and Funk ever get to see Brandon Perina Lions press conference? I still haven't seen the press conference. I am sorry. I have not seen the press conference yet. So did the Lions fleece the Rams, though? Okay. Yes and no, which is a chicken shit answer, One Pride 40. The reason why the answer is yes, because they got way too much. The reason why it's no is because they wanted to unload the contract, because even after they dumped all that contract on the Lions, their top 6 players eat up like $110 million on the salary cap. Okay, you have Stafford. I'm trying to think here. It's Stafford, Kupp, Donald, Ramsey, and there's like 2 other players. And bottom line is that there's so much in that salary cap for just a handful of players. Here's the problem with the Rams. You take Aaron Donald away from the Rams, how good are they with Stafford? I think they're a 500 team. I don't even think they make the playoffs. I really don't. I mean, they need that core 6 stars to stay healthy for a whole season. Their left tackle, Andrew Whitworth, is 91 years old. That's a fact. No, I'm joking. So the short answer, I think, is yes. Now, do the Lions get the 32nd pick in the draft? Do they get the 30th pick in the draft? You know, I thought the Kansas City Chiefs lost the Frank Clark trade, but Frank Clark ended up taking the Chiefs to a Super Bowl. All the picks that the Seahawks got for Frank Clark, they used every single one on defensive ends, where they probably should have just kept Frank Clark in the first place. Because there was like 3 draft picks, and all 3 of them were for defensive ends. So, yeah, the answer is yes. The Lions did. However, if the Rams do go to a Super Bowl, then was it worth it? Sure. Now, here's another thing. The Lions have to hit on these picks. All right? They can't draft a guy who's out of the league in 3 or 4 years. Okay, so that's another thing you got to think about. I like Goff, but the way Dan Campbell was talking is if they are looking for a dual threat type of guy in Goff. No, he is definitely not a dual threat guy. And that's another thing. Let's say they draft Lance at 7. Do they just have open competition and say, hey, Goff, I know we're paying you $43 million, but you may not be the starter. So using Lance's taste, I'm on board with that, man. I'm on board with that. And this is a good way to get Lance integrated into the NFL from North Dakota State. Because there's always a learning curve between college and pros. It doesn't matter if you're an SEC or if you're North Dakota State. There's always a learning curve, especially at quarterback, but just dumbing things down, and saying, hey, look, you're going to be in here for 3 plays this game. And we're going to use you as a decoy on one of those plays. You're going to throw the ball another one of those plays, and you're going to run the ball in one of those plays. And yeah, dude, I'm on board, man. I love it. But let's just look at it. Okay, I love it. All right, I'm on board. Let me start you the flip side. What if you have Goff? All right, you rebuild your defense and say, let's just see how good we are. Are we a playoff team? We got a Pro Bowl quarterback. DeAndre Swift looks like a superstar at running back. I got a crush on him. You got Hockenson, a stud Pro Bowl tight end whose stock's still going up. Today, right now, you got Galladay. Yeah, good offensive line. Let's draft some good defensive players. Let's build that defense, and let's see what you got. Why not try to win? More than likely, I'm saying I would love it if they did that, but more than likely, what you're probably going to do is say, okay, let's just atom bomb. We're going to suck in 2021. But yeah, let's use Lance's Taysom Hill. Let's draft them, and in 2022, screw it. Who best quarterback starts? Why not? But I could also flip side, best player available, somebody can help you win this year. Hey, when I start my draft videos, I'm gonna have a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday to start. So I won't get to the Lions till early March. But once I release my draft video with the Lions, then you tell me you tell me what you would do, and I'll have a video showing what I would do. Because I mean, I could very easily see Trey Lance not only being available at 7, but being the hit, being that's what the Lions want to do. Because yes, you could use him this year. Yes, he could be the starter either in 2022 or 2023. And you could still use him, so it's an offensive weapon. Everything about it's good. We're just teasing you, Dan. You know what? Here's the negative is I keep telling you guys, hey man, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. But the more and more people, the less and less comments I'd be able to read. I would love it if my show got a little bigger. I don't want 1,000 people watching me. I wouldn't be able to interact with 1,000 people, but I would love it if I had, a person from every NFL fan base who I could have some interaction with. That way I can have some people I could say, like, for example, Denver Gator. Hey man, can you tell me something about Denver this year that I might be missing? I got Alex in Houston, gives me a ton of great stuff. Mike's been telling me Tampa Bay and Buffalo since September, and Tampa Bay gets there. He told me about Coastal Carolina week 1 of the college football season. So, Mike, thank you, man. I mean, I should have made more money betting on Coastal Carolina like a dummy. Matter of fact, he put action on Coastal Carolina over KU. And I was like, I wouldn't do that. He's like, hey, screw you, Dan. He didn't say that because Mike's cool, but Denver, no, I didn't watch it. I'll check it out though. Okay. No. Yeah, I gotta watch that. I did too. I was pretty high on that. Give a credit to my boy Luke G. He called that 2 months in advance. So as long as Fant is with the Chiefs in a few years, you know what? I do not be surprised if Kansas City takes a tight end in this draft. Do not be surprised. Nothing against Kelsey, but is another weapon. So. I was telling everyone, yes, Funk, you did. Okay, this is a fact. Funk said it. Luke G said it. And I had offensive line. I was way off. So Denver Gator, I love this show. It reminds me of high school where we had a teacher that loved telling stories. Me and my boys used to. I will forget to give you homework. And I'm almost done with my coffee. I have a bunch of comments, and I haven't even told you the 2 other things I bet on, and I want to share that. I want to share it. I'm going to share it now. I'm gonna stop right now. I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna share with you the 2 prop bets that I made on Super Bowl Sunday. And I want to share this with you. You can make both of these bets on my bookie, which I don't recommend. But let's say, okay, my nose is itching. I promise I am not on blow. So these are my 2 prop bets. I have Kansas City -3, obviously, but I'm a Chiefs fan. If you took Tampa Bay, make sure you get the hook. All right, make sure you get the 3.5. If you're taking Tampa Bay in 3, you gotta do more shopping around. If that's your only option, I get it. I'm not mad at you. I got Kansas City in 3. I'm a Chiefs fan. Of course, I'm going to take it. I have 2 prop bets. Number 1, Sammy Watkins over 37.5 yards. Sammy Watkins is questionable coming into this game. Okay, he didn't play in the last game against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got anal raped by Tyreek Hill. And Travis Kelce, of course. I think the over under on Kelce right now is like 100 yards. So they're going to focus on Tyreek Hill. They're going to focus on Travis Kelce. But Sammy Watkins, 37.5 yards. Last year's Super Bowl, he had 93. Prop bet on Sammy Watkins. I took it in last year's Super Bowl. I'm taking it again this year. 37.5 yards. That's 1 pass play. The weakness of Tampa Bay is the secondary. Andy Reid's going to throw the ball whether they're up, whether they're down. I strongly urge you to take Sammy Watkins. You're hearing some questionable stuff, like he's questionable going into the game. He's been questionable. He didn't play in any of the playoff games, but he's good to go. Stevie can vouch that he's been on board. Full participant in practice. So it's not just me. Sammy Watkins over 37.5 receiving yards is an excellent prop bet. I recommend everybody take. As far as the number and what you can get, more than likely you'll get 40 or less because all these prop bets keep on going up. Normally, I don't do bets like this, but I got at plus 475, so it means a $100 wager wins me $475, so it's almost a 5-1. I would refer to this as a sucker bet, but I took it. I took a very small amount, but I believe this because it happened last year. Sammy Watkins will have 80 or more receiving yards against Tampa Bay and a victory. Okay, both things have to happen. It's kind of a sucker bet, to be honest with you. But in last year, he had 93 in a victory. So that's why I made it. Sammy Watkins, I think, will have a big game. So those are my 3 bets. I finally got that out. It only took an hour and a half. Oh, man. And yes, I get distracted very easy, especially after 2 energy drinks. And I'm almost finished with my coffee. So the Rams have to figure out how to keep Brockers. He's one. That's the other one. He's 1 to 6. Besides offensive linemen they can recover money with, I think the Rams might be in trouble. And Stafford. No, yeah, Stafford will get the blame. If the Rams do not go to a Super Bowl, Stafford will get the blame. 100%. You nailed it, Funk. That was our anatomy and physiology teacher. Holmes and Dorsey got to play their cards right. They're going to get very creative. If you're going to see a lot of creativity with the Lions in this year's draft and going forward. You're going to see a lot of creativity. It's going to be great. It is 8:20. How far is the Dan Show behind right now? Chad is jacked. I'm jacked up. It's not that bad. I'm only at 4 minutes. I'm not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. The chat is what's good. I'm okay, but the chat's great. You guys are really what makes the show great because I learned from you guys. So yeah, you guys are really what makes it great. The fact that the best part of the show is the comments, not me. The hat also is very awesome. Do you trust Holmes and Dorsey to play the cards right? I will say this: Dorsey took a 2-14 Chiefs franchise, and 6 years later got them to a Super Bowl. He took Cleveland, a winless Browns team, to the divisional round of the playoffs. Just go back in time, pre-Dorsey. You're 0-16, and the coach who took you 0-16, you didn't even shit can him. And then what happened is the owner told Dorsey you couldn't get him. And then, by the way, you can check him out on Hard Knocks. You could tell Dorsey wanted to get rid of all those guys, but the owner kind of interfered. So with Dorsey, yes. Holmes, I like the fact that he came from the Rams franchise. He was apparently instrumental in the Goff trade. Remember, there was a big trade to get the Goff. The Rams gave up, I think it was 3 number ones for Goff. They gave up a lot to get Goff. So that's kind of a big deal. Is there bug crawling on me? Okay. I'm that jacked up. I'm thinking bugs are crawling all over me. So the answer is yes. Look at the 2 other places Dorsey's been to. Kansas City. Yeah, okay, it makes sense that you built something good in Kansas City. All right, it makes sense because when they were 2-14, they had, I think it was like several Pro Bowl. I think it was like 6 Pro Bowlers total, which is rare for a 2-14 team. But Cleveland was fucking winless, man. The idea that the Browns are going to the divisional round of the playoffs in 2020 when they were 0-16 a few years ago was like, I don't know. Think of something. Short answer, yes, I do. Totally did not go on a rant right there. The Lions' new regime would be smart to build for 2 years. They got time. No one expects much. I think this year is going to be a bad year to be a Lions fan, but 2022 is going to be fun. 2022 is going to be the year that you kind of want to look at and like, okay. What you're probably going to look at is a bad team this year, but then you're going into the offseason with 2 first-round picks. One's going to be a top 10. The other one's going to be a bottom 10. And do you trade up? Do you trade down? Do you already have your quarterback? Do you want to draft a quarterback? Those are all the questions you want to ask. And that's a good thing. Did you know Dorsey's been in contact with Wilson's dad, and Brunell wanted to see if he declared or not? We have connections to Wilson. That I didn't know. That I didn't know. And I'm drawing a blank on where Mark Brunell played college. I don't think it was BYU, but I didn't know that. Bottom line, every team in the top 10 is going to talk to Kyle Wilson. Every team in the top 10 is going to talk to Kyle Wilson. So that doesn't surprise me. I could look it up very easily, but I'm drawing a blank. I don't know where Mark Brunell went to college, but I think Mark Brunell's the quarterback's coach was brilliant. Thoughts on John Gruden tampering with Richard Sherman? Actually, I didn't know about that. You're the one who told me about that. I heard Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was really big in supporter of Robert Saleh. I'm kind of surprised we haven't heard Richard Sherman going to the Jets, which makes a lot of sense, especially with the young secondary they have in New York. It wouldn't surprise me if Richard Sherman actually went to the Jets. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I heard Richard Sherman to Dallas. I heard Richard Sherman. There's one other team. I haven't heard the Raiders. You're the one who told me about the Raiders. But he was public at the end of the year that he's not coming back to San Francisco. So I think that there's probably 20 teams that could use him, but him going to Raiders makes a lot of sense. I didn't know there was tampering. I didn't know any of that. So I'm glad you told me, and I should be more on the ball. I should have been aware of that. I wasn't. So I'm glad you told me. That's the whole point of the show. You tell me things that I need to know. Richard Sherman going to the Raiders makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So Brad is supposed to be the king of late round picks. That and John Dorsey. John Dorsey found Stevie can help me out with the pronunciation. We call him LDT in Kansas City. They found him in Canada. We found Tyreek Hill in the 5th round. Dorsey finds guys out of nowhere. So yeah, you're going to find lots of this is why you're going to get creative, is that I guarantee you you're going to have at least one player from this draft. You're going to have at least one player. You're going to be like, who the F is this? It'll be from some obscure college, or he'll be Dorsey's first draft. We got a guy who didn't even play football. He's now the backup tight end in Cleveland. He lasted several years in Kansas City. But yeah, he took a guy from, it was Wisconsin, Green Bay. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But we took a forward. That's what you're getting out of Dorsey, is that what did he do? He picked a forward. The guy never even played football. He just called him up. And he said, hey, man, you want to come to Kansas City? Matter of fact, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in Kansas City for 5 or 6 years, was with Cleveland this last year. And the guy never played football before. He thought that he was getting a phone call to go play basketball in Europe, and it was John Dorsey. He goes, you want to come to Kansas City and try to play tight end? So if you think Brad's the king of late round picks, John Dorsey is getting guys from Canada. He got Tyreek Hill in the 5th round, and he got this tight end who didn't even play football. You're going to get one draft pick this year that you're going to go, who'd up? Like, he's going to be like either from another country. He's going to be like a baseball player. It's something crazy. It's going to be something crazy. I promise. And I'm going to say this: Lions taking a QB up. I fully expect the Lions to take a quarterback. I'm just not sure it's at 7. This is not our time, Mr. Dan. Are you talking about Vegas? Look, we are going to Vegas. It just may not be in April. It could be in September. I am going to go out to Vegas unless something weird happens. I do plan on kicking off the NFL season, but I don't know. That was a short rant. I've been calling Lance the Lions since before Patricia was out of here. Funk, I'm going to hold you to that. So, and by the way, when I do my video, if I don't have Lance going to the Lions at 7, excuse me. Sorry about that. Let me ask you something, Funk. How would you feel if you have to give up another draft pick? How would you feel if you traded up and got Lance? Do you only want him at 7? What if you trade up to 2 or 3, 4? What if you have to trade up and get rid of something? So, hey, Stevie, about the tampering deal, Collinsworth was warning him not to do it. Gruden didn't miss a beat, openly recruiting and tampering. Hilarious. The tampering will cost a draft pick if that's the case. I didn't know that. So I'm glad you guys told me about it. So Funk's going to get blamed. So if the Bucs double team Hill and Kelsey, Stammy should ball, or else they're going to unveil the running back route. CEH is going to light them up. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. That's why I'm strongly recommending, if you're going to put action on the Super Bowl, taking Sammy Watkins to get over 40 receiving yards is a good bet. The double bet I did is just because it's almost 5-1 odds, and I put a small down. So I read that Denver Gator. It's just like, I'll be honest with you. It's old school Raiders cheating. It's kind of funny. Yeah, he did. He got fined for it. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's a good time to be a Lions fan. Just don't expect a lot to happen this year. Don't expect a lot to happen this year, but it's going to be very creative. Funk says, I'm definitely sold on Lance. If not, they better trade back and build the heck out of the defense. I could see that, and I could also see them drafting defense at 7 and just saying, hey, we got Goff, we got a young Pro Bowl quarterback, we got a Pro Bowl tight end, I think Swift's capable of being a Pro Bowl running back. We have a good offensive line. Let's build a hell out of our defense and let's play. How mad would you be if you had a defensive-laden, heavy draft and you just said, look, we got Pro Bowl quarterback, Pro Bowl tight end, we keep Galladay, we got Pro Bowl running back, we're going to try to score 30 a game and just try to get our defense middle of the pack and go to the playoffs this year? How mad would you be? As long as the league gets keeping Gruden a slap on the hand. Yeah, that's true, but it could be a draft pick. I remember the Chiefs did some tampering. I don't remember what it was, and they lost a third. So tampering's a big deal. Tampering's a big deal. I didn't know about it. So, and that's something I should have. Slap on the wrist, making $100 million. The draft pick will hurt, and if it is tampering, then yeah. If I was a Lion fan with the knowledge I have as a Chiefs fan, I've been saying I thought it was going to be Dorsey and Bieniemy. I was saying that for a long time, and I wasn't right on either because Dorsey's a senior executive. But keep in mind, I firmly believe that Dorsey's not going to be in Detroit longer than 3 years. He'll take over as GM for another team very shortly. Very shortly. But while he's there, you're going to have a ton of trades. There's not 15 general managers better than Dorsey, and there's very few people that can evaluate talent. Do you remember the tight end now? It's driving me nuts. He was like 6'7". It was weird because he'd make these great catches, but if you hit him right between the numbers, he'd drop it. You know who I'm talking about. Brunell went to Washington. That's right. I knew it wasn't BYU. In Kansas City, he just screwed up our salary cap and supposedly didn't have enough of the extra. Yeah, what happened was he played hardball with Eric Berry after he beat cancer, and he played hardball with Justin Houston, and Justin Houston responded with one of the greatest defensive seasons of all time. The only reason he didn't win MVP is because Watt had maybe the best season of any defensive lineman ever. But yeah, Dorsey, that's right. It was. I should have known that. Dorsey won't be dealing with the cap stuff in Detroit. Okay, actually he will. He's a senior executive. He's going to have his hands on a lot of different things, including the cap. Dorsey will be dealing with the cap. I forget the title, but basically he's the number 2 guy. So he will be dealing with some cap issues. But the reason why he really got people really sour, and he was right, by the way. This is cold as hell to say, but he was right. Because Eric Berry had two knee injuries that cost him the whole season before he caught cancer. So there's 3 separate incidents that cost him the whole season, and he wanted to be the highest paid safety in football. And Dorsey's like, no, we can't have that. And then he played hardball with him in the 2016 season. He played his best football because it was a contract year. And honestly, he did it right, but the Chiefs owner was adamant that he wanted Berry to retire as a Chief. He's like, we want to pay him whatever he's worth. And what happened is they give him a bunch of money and never played like one playoff game, a fraction of a playoff game. So, yeah, but that really rubbed a lot of people. I mean, you beat cancer and then you're play hardball. Anyway, okay, rant's over. Okay. Gruden was on the show with Chris Collinsworth. Sherman was a guest on the show too. Gruden said, Richard Sherman is looking. If you are a free agent, and rumor is you are, we're looking for an alpha presence in the secondary, someone who can play and play this Hawk 3 press team. If you're available and interested, McVay got in trouble. I did not know this. So I'm glad you told me about it because I had no idea. And I am okay. Yeah. One that kind of set up by Sims in an interview, Sherman. I was not aware of it till you guys told me about it. But bottom line, if it is considered tampering, it will cost the Raiders a draft pick. That doesn't sound like it. Thank you, Stevie. Laurent Darnay Tardif. They got him from Canada. He opted out due to COVID. If you don't know the story, he was going to med school. And the Chiefs drafted him knowing that he would not be available. It was kind of like a 2-year red shirt. And then he came back and played at a really high level. Last year, he just played tampered off, but then he redid his contract. Then COVID came out. And because he is a doctor, he's a legitimate doctor. He's supposedly going to come back to Kansas City and play in 2021. But, I mean, let's just, Demetrius Harris, yes. John Dorsey drafted him out of, I think it's University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. He was a forward, never played football. That's how out of the box John Dorsey is. He just said, hey, dude. And he actually had some good games here. He had some good moments. He's still in the NFL. So the thing that hurts me at the Texans is the coaching staff looks good, but since our owner picked a youth pastor over his QB Watson's relationship with deteriorate. I agree with you, Alex. The only thing I'm saying is that I think David Coley, and this is not a good move. To take a guy who's never been an NFL head coach and say, hey, look, by the way, you have to fix this, but Coley has to fix this. And it sucks. And because he's never been a coach before, he's never been put in that situation. But yeah, that's his responsibility. So, but yeah, it's not the owners. It's not the former youth pastor. It's now David Coley. And it's not what he signed up for. It's not what he's supposed to do. But yes, this is what he needs to do. You're now the head coach. You got to fix this. And because he brought in Lovie Smith, those two guys, even though Lovie Smith is on the defensive side, they need to fix this. And it's not fair. It's not right. But that's what it needs to do. Demetrius drops Harris. Here's the deal. Every time he would be wide open, he would drop it. But like if he was double covered, he'd look like Jerry Rice. It was just the most frustrating thing in the whole world. He's like 6'7", 240, 245. Became a good blocker. Has like 4.6 speed. It was just so frustrating because he'd be wide open and just drop it. But like in triple coverage, he'd look like Jerry Rice. It was so frustrating. He's now at the Bears. Okay, makes sense. Stayed in the Chiefs organization. World of talent. Yeah, Dorsey found him playing basketball, and it wasn't basketball at like an ACC school. It was University of Milwaukee. It was like some school out of nowhere. If you're wondering how he found him, it's because he was in Green Bay for the last 20 years. He graduated from the Ron Wolf general manager school. So that's kind of why he found him in that small, obscure school. But I mean, like I said, dude never played football. So Luck was injured a lot due to Colts offensive line, and the Colts did nothing to help him. He felt ignored by the organization after multiple injuries, saying there's no love between this. Okay. Okay, I remember that, and it wasn't anything against the organization because the organization used the 6th overall pick. Remember, they had the 3rd pick. They traded with the Jets, and they got Quentin Nelson. Anthony Costanzo was a really good pick. They made several picks to help build that offensive line, but Luck kept on getting injury after injury after injury, and he got fed up with it. But he wasn't fed up with the Colts organization. It's a sad because I kept on saying that if Andrew Luck doesn't win multiple MVPs, the Colts organization failed him. And ultimately he didn't win an MVP. It would not surprise me if he comes back. But if he comes back, he's coming back to the Colts. He's coming back to the Colts. And come to think of it, Detroit's got a massive free agency pool. If we got to trade up, you want to go Wilson. I could see that. Oh man, we starting this. Alex, how's the OnlyFans account? I'd be mad if we went up to get Lance. If they move up, they need to go get Wilson. I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts having them going to number 2 and getting Wilson. So yeah. My guess, who cares about the freaking lines? Pride, I have over 500 followers. They love the Esther me. Oh, Jesus. Okay. You got dirty pictures of Esther B. Might use it. Oh, my God. This is great. Oh, man. I've been reaching out to the Texans, but they won't buy my premium package. Oh, my God. You might need to grab a gun and I'm no longer a fan of Eric Berry. The Chiefs stood by him and paid his salary even when he said he wouldn't take a pay cut, and he went through his day-to-day crap. For those of you that aren't familiar, Eric Berry was literally day-to-day for all 16 weeks. It was due to some bone spurs in his foot, and a lot of people came out afterwards and said that they've played with worse. There's a lot of resentment, but by the way, even though the Chiefs did pay his salary, which was crazy, even though he's healthy enough, no team signed him. So it's great they beat cancer. I loved him here in Kansas City. It was frustrating, and I was always hoping he'd come back and play, but it doesn't look like he will, which is sad. But that 2016 season, oh man, that was good. The pick 2 was fantastic. You're probably right, Pride. They're going to buy my $60 package. Oh my God, this is awesome here. Man, now we're talking guns. I swear Esther B is your guy's man. Oh man, P99. I just got my Glock 19X back. That is my baby. I love the 19X. I have 2 different holsters for it. I can finally wear my, is it the Alienware? I don't think that's the name of it, but it's a nice in-waist holster. It's perfect. Love the 19X. I like Glocks, man. It's good enough for police. It's good enough for me, man. Everything's bigger in Texas. Oh, God. You guys, I say you guys are great, and then we get that. So, Barry beating cancer was a great story. Kansas City paid him a lot of money not to play. Barry had no loyalty. Chiefs fans who love Barry. No, you got a good point. I know I don't have any hatred, or I'm no longer an Eric Berry fan, but it was a bad situation. Dorsey played hardball, and he was right, by the way. Dorsey was right to play hardball with Barry because after they signed him, he was injured and never really played again. I think Demetrius Harris has AD. It was so weird. Like he'd make this great catch, and then if you left him wide open, he'd drop it. It was so frustrating. But he's still in the league. Ended up being a pretty good blocker. I don't think he's ever going to be a starter again, but Luck was supposed to be. I thought he was. I said it so many times. If Luck doesn't win multiple MVPs, then the Colts did him a disservice. All the talent in the world, it just sucks. It sucks. I think we'll see him again in the NFL. I really do. I don't know what odds, money, and if he does come back to the NFL, first team will have a shot at the Colts. Damn, Funk. Luck was soft. People always said he got hit too much in the same time frame. I don't think Luck's soft, but did Stafford get hit more? Oh, hell yeah. Who's tougher, Stafford or Luck? Stafford. I said this many times. Stafford's tougher than 99-cent steak. Stafford, dude, but dude, Luck played with some like really messed up stuff. I think he had like a lacerated kidney or something really, really messed up. But my issue though is that I mean it's kind of hard because I obviously didn't have the athletic ability to play in the National Football League and not that high of a level. So when you see somebody like that just opt out, it's frustrating. Uh, Excuse me, but yeah, it's frustrating. Compared to Stafford, I would say he's soft. Do I think he's soft? The answer is no. But I'm calling it. I do think that Luck will be back in the NFL. He may not. He may just be a backup. Just may say, "Hey, look, I just want to be a backup." But yeah, dude, Stafford took a major beating. Stafford's always going to be one of my all-time favorites. So, do you think the Rams are a Super Bowl team? No, I do not. No, I do not. They were a 10-16 that I think got really lucky playing against a Seahawks team. I think they got really lucky. I think the Seahawks were the better team. I think the Rams are a team that they need to keep. I think Leonard Floyd, if I remember right, he was a guy I had a major draft crush on. He had a great year. He's a free agent. They have to figure out if he can come back, because if he doesn't come back, then you got to fill that hole without a first round pick. Your starting left tackle is 91 years old. You got to figure out how to fix that. Are you going with that? Are you going with Andrew Whitworth as your starting left tackle? I think realistically he's 39. He missed a few weeks with injuries. I mean, no, the Rams are not a Super Bowl team. That said, I thought the best team in the NFC was the Saints, and Brees may be gone, so that's a question mark. Green Bay, if Rodgers comes back, which is still a question, is that team better? Tampa Bay, do they just reload? Do they just come back, or do they have a bunch of people defect? Dominican Sue, he may be gone. Without Sue, you take Sue away from Tampa Bay, just Sue, they're no longer a Super Bowl team. And somebody's going to say, wait a minute, Sue's not. No, Sue is that good of a player. Sue alone will take away him from Tampa Bay. Yeah. So, I mean, the answer is no, but I think the NFC is so wide open. I don't think there's a dominant team. But the Rams have question marks. And Stafford doesn't answer all of them. And Stafford will get the blame. So it's kind of unfair. Yeah. Dan, what is my Super Bowl score prediction? I'm going to go with the all-time chicken shit score prediction, and I apologize for everybody with this chicken shit prediction, but I'm going to go with 27-24, the same exact scores last time. And I think that what you'll see is just the opposite. I think you'll see Tampa Bay jump out to an early 7-10 lead, and then I think Mahomes will do like he did last. Remember, if you remember the first game, Tyreek Hill had 200 yards receiving in the first quarter. Kansas City jumped out to a 17-0 lead and kind of held on. I think it'll be just the opposite. I think Tampa Bay will get an early lead. I think they'll get an early lead, whether it's 3 or 10 points, and then Kansas City will just flex its muscle, because I think Kansas City easily has the better team. I think the pass rush will cause some problems. I don't think that Kansas City will get the quick scores. I think it'll be a lower scoring game, but a low scoring game is 27-24. And I think that's what you'll see. And by the way, if you're wondering if you should take the under, I think you should take the under, but do it at game time, because people are going to keep betting the overs. By the way, there's rain, thunderstorms, which doesn't affect, but casual bettors may be turned off by thunderstorms, which is iffy. But yeah, 27-24. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than people think. I think both teams kind of want to control the clock, believe it or not. I think Kansas City will attack with a short passing game. I think you'll see a lot of quick short passes. I think they'll try to protect Mahomes. And as soon as you bring someone up, then of course you'll get a deep threat. But that's kind of the way I see it coming out. As a Chiefs fan, do not be surprised that Tampa Bay gets up by 7 or 10 points early. Do not be surprised. And if that happens, bet heavy on Kansas City. Anyone think Watson will get traded? I do not, but I'd love to hear from anybody who thinks otherwise. I think it's a great story. I think it's very entertaining. I do not think it's going to happen. And I'm going to wrap this up since we're going on 2 hours. I'm going to get through the rest of these just real fast. And I cannot thank you guys enough. This is my favorite thing to do. It was a long week, so I'm so excited to talk football. I'm very excited about the Super Bowl. Fubo canceled my subscription because they suck in life. I'm not even going to, no, it's a long rant. I'm going to stop right there. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to hit the gym and then I'm going to come back. I unfortunately have to work tomorrow, but that's okay. As soon as I get off of work, I'm going to try to sign up for YouTube TV so I can actually watch the Super Bowl. But I'd love to know in the next minute if anybody else thinks Watson's going to get traded. I do not think so. Do not forget, give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment below. I put all my social media links also at the bottom if you want to hit me up on either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your choice. I'm a little Instagram impaired. I know Denver Gator and Alex have been tweeting me some really cool shit. So I love going on Twitter with them. You can join me on Twitter, Facebook if you want. Not too many people use Facebook, but you know, I'm going to advertise a lot of stuff on Facebook because it's free. Stafford played on a disclosed patella and tore ligaments in his hand. Oh, dude, the game-winning touchdown with the broken collarbone is one of my all-time favorite Stafford moments. Did you even hear him? He's like yelling at him, like, no, I'm going to do it. And oh, yeah, and they played with, I'm always going to love Stafford. They will retire his number. When he retires, he'll retire a line. Rams could definitely make the Super Bowl next year. Stafford, though, in decline, still plays at a high level, and the Rams team still plays good. Stafford. Here's the deal. I mean, I don't know if he's in decline as much as he's been injury prone the last couple of years, and there is some question marks on that team. The offensive skill position talent might be better in Detroit than it is in with the Rams. It might be. People act like the Rams are a Super Bowl caliber team. They're really not. They're a 10-6 team. They got really lucky against the Seahawks. I think they got lucky. This alone does not make a Super Bowl team. The Rams still need to make a move or two. The Rams are Super Bowl or bust, but definitely will get into the playoffs and get to that divisional round. I do think that. I do think they will make the playoffs. Whether they win or don't win the NFC West, that's a question because the Seahawks are still a really good team. How much better will the Cardinals get? What about San Francisco? I think San Francisco's in decline, but that's another story. Yes, 39. I'm going to get through all these, then we're going to wrap this up. Stafford's definitely an improvement. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. You expect 49ers to be back. I do not. I think that they're going to end up being a 500 team. They lost a large part of their coaching staff. Saleh took a lot of their coaches with them, and I think San Francisco has some major holes to fill. So the Cardinals will improve, and Seattle's still a good team. Sue is a beast, literally lives against double teams, makes everyone – exactly. And Sue might not be coming back next year. That's big. If Sue doesn't come back, then I don't think Tampa Bay comes back. I think he's that important. Bucks will draw in players through Brady, just as I expect the Chiefs through. Yes, I 100% agree with both. I feel like the Chiefs are going to blow that. Wow. Usually I'm nervous about games. I feel confident about this game, which makes me nervous. You know what? This year, I was not nervous for any regular season game. I really wasn't. I think the most nerves I got was for the first one because I wanted over 54.5, and it was 54. They do have a good offensive line, but Whitworth is 39. He played at a really good level. He missed some games last week. If he doesn't come back, then you have some problems because you don't have a first-round pick. And remember, they got rid of Stafford, Roger Stafford. He went to Tennessee. So there's some issues on that offensive line. Here's the deal. They they don't have everything in place for a Super Bowl team. They really don't. They still have some pieces to add. And that's the problem is people think like, oh, we got Stafford, we're done. No, they are not done. So I feel like the Chiefs are really vanilla in week 12 and are going to pull out. It's funny because Andy Reid was public saying they haven't practiced any trick plays, and I know it and you know it's bullshit. So as much as I love Stafford, you believe he's declining. I don't know if I would say declining as much as can he play 16? That's a legitimate question. Remember, he played like after that separated shoulder, he played like 10 straight years. I think it was 9 straight years without missing a game. Last 2 years, he's missed significant time. So I'm going to be honest, that video of Breeze and Brady's throwing the ball after the game made me, after a game, especially since we learned Bruce. Yeah, that was pretty cool though, man. Mike, thanks for joining us. Mike, you enjoyed the Super Bowl, and I really thank you for joining the show this year. I really hope that win or lose, I see you Friday, man. So thank you, man. Good luck. And by the way, look into the Sammy Watkins prop bets. I think you'll like it. Jimmy Stoneful's not here, but hopefully he's listening to rebroadcast and takes my advice. Have a fun Super Bowl loss. Alex, no, bad, but hopefully, Alex, man, again, thank you very much. I want to see you. I want to see you next week. I really hope Stafford. Yeah, he will, and he should. Stafford will never sniff a Super Bowl. 3 minutes after the hour, Dan trying to decide what time. All right, yeah, yes. Good night, and by the way, I'm next Friday, every Friday. So Stafford can be Patrick Mahomes. I'm being nice. Oh God, not cool. It ain't. I don't want. Oh God, it ain't cool. That is, yeah. All right, guys, show is over. Have a great weekend. Everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. Next Friday, same time, same channel, same amount of being jacked up. You can always email me. Follow me on social media. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment below. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'll see everybody back next Friday.